Good morning, fourth grade. So today we are going to have a discussion about different earth material. Yesterday we created a concept map. In this concept map, we learned how a mountain is broken down to pieces, can be broken down to pieces, and those pieces end up are what makes up our earth materials like soil. Through that concept map, we were able to see that the earth is made up of different sized rocks, and these different sized rocks can also be composed of soil. And these different sized rocks can also become a part of soil. We were able to see that this soil is not just helpful for helping fruits and vegetables grow, but it also has a lot of nutrients that can help plants as well as animals. It provides a lot of different minerals that can help nourish our planet Earth. As we have been exploring our planet Earth, we have seen that there is different sized rocks in different parts of our Earth. These different sized rocks are creating different types of landforms, from mountains, valleys, canyons, to ocean or beaches. These are all different parts of landforms that are created on our Earth's surface. Through our concept map, we have also seen that since there are so many different types of landforms, there are scientists that have to study this different earth material to see how they can help us human beings and our surrounding, the different plants and the different animals. The reason that scientists want to study more about this earth material is so they can learn more about it, so that they can learn how it can be helpful. What can it be used for? When we think back in time, we didn't have things like cell phones or computers or books or different factories that made food. So over the course of time, human beings had to use what they had from Earth to come up with ways to survive. They had to figure out, if I'm hungry, how am I going to get my food? They had to see what planet Earth provided for us and how they can use it to drink water. And that's when they would use oceans and filter water to make it clean and then be able to drink. Or if they were hungry, they would have to use different plants and different soils and different trees to be able to grow different fruits, different vegetables, in order so they can feed themselves. And even when it comes to finding a home, in order to be able to build a home, human beings had to use the resources that were provided from our planet Earth to be able to build a home. They can use sticks from a tree to be able to build like a home, or different they can use clay from the soil to be able to mold it into a home, and just different ways that they can use it to their benefit. All these things are examples of natural resources. Natural resources are material that come from our natural earth environment, like soil and water are a few examples of natural resources. But it's just not that. There are many other natural resources that we find in our planet Earth that are sometimes very necessary for our survival. The first natural resource is water. When we look at oceans or lakes, that is a resource that provides water. Human beings need water to be able to drink. They need water to be able to clean themselves. They need water to be able to to water their plants. be able to clean different materials. And that is one example of a natural resource that simply comes from our planet Earth and the way that our planet Earth was created. Another example of a natural resource is soil. If you look out your window and you see some trees or flowers, didn't just pop out of the concrete. No, it had to grow. It needed to be able to have a place to establish its home and be able to receive its different nutrients and different vitamins to be able to sprout up and grow. And that is where soil comes in. Soil is another example of a natural resource. Soil is what makes up our planet, a lot of our planet Earth, since it is broken down pieces of rocks mixed with humus. Soil is very necessary because it is where humans are able to plant trees. Humans are able to plant different flowers or different plants, and humans are also able to use soil to plant different vegetables and fruits like apples, oranges, vegetables like cucumbers, tomatoes, spinach, lemons, any type of those types of food and vegetables that we eat. They needed to grow from somewhere, and they grew from soil. We think back a long time before there was a supermarket or fast food places. There was places where people needed to eat. They couldn't just go or call a pizza shop like, hey, can I get a pizza? No. Or, hey, I would like this for dinner. Or I'm just gonna go. In order to be able to make dinner, they had to be able to grow it in their own farm, in their own area, and it was very important for humans to have access to soil. And soil was a natural resource that was provided when our Earth was created. Soil and water are natural resources that are needed for our survival, but there are also other natural resources that aren't much of a necessity for humans to survive. For example, there are a lot of different minerals that can be found in rocks. In different rocks, when you go into a cave and you start picking and breaking down these rocks, in a lot of these rocks, there are many different minerals. And in these minerals, we find something that is called iron. Iron it's found in rocks. And from iron, people are able to make steel. And from steel, people are able to build structures for different buildings and what holds them up to be able to stand up tall. And that is an example of a natural resource that is provided by our planet Earth to help us to be able to live in our planet Earth. Also, when we look outside at different decorations like statues or jewelry, these are all things that were naturally found in our Earth, or even gold. These are natural resources that are provided from our planet Earth. When you look at a statue, it is art made from big pieces of rocks. This is a natural resource that was made from rocks that were broken down. Natural resources are materials that we find in our Earth. And we are going to be exploring natural resources, and we're going to learn why these natural resources are so important and what are the different types of kinds of natural resources. Because some natural resources are renewable, meaning that they never run out, and then some natural resources are non-renewable, meaning that once we use it all up, there is no more. And that's why it's important that we take care of our planet Earth, so that we are able to use the natural resources that it provides in a smart and helpful way for us humans. We're now going to watch this short clip that tells us more about natural resources.
Phew! Took me all day to move that topsoil. Dear Tim and Moby, I'm doing a report on natural resources. Is air considered a natural resource? From Marty. Well, natural resources include anything in nature that people value. Since the atmosphere contains the oxygen we breathe and the carbon dioxide that plants use for photosynthesis, I'd say that air qualifies as a natural resource. Well, there are lots of different kinds of natural resources. Like other organisms, we depend on clean water and air. And we use energy sources like fossil fuels, wood, wind, and sunlight for everything from running cars to powering entire cities. The Earth's crust contains valuable mineral resources like metals and other elements. Even plants and animals are natural resources. It's actually pretty amazing how much use we put our planet to. No, plastic isn't a natural resource because it doesn't occur on its own in nature. It's made from oil, though, which is a natural resource. Get it? People generally divide natural resources into two main categories, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources include any natural resource that can replenish itself or that has a seemingly unlimited supply. Fish and forests are renewable resources because they're both living things that can reproduce. The sun is considered a renewable source of energy because it's probably going to last into the distant future. No, just because a resource is renewable doesn't mean it can never run out. A forest can be chopped down much faster than it can regrow. And even though soil is produced naturally over time, soil erosion is a big problem for a lot of countries. Right, that's why it's important for people to take good care of our natural resources. It's easy to take renewable resources like air and water for granted, but pollution can quickly make our environment almost unlivable. That's why there's so much research going into renewable energy sources like wind, hydroelectricity, and solar power. They make more sense than fossil fuels because they'll never run out, and they don't pollute as much. Well, that's the idea behind conservation. Everyone can do their part to conserve or save our natural resources. At home, you can recycle all paper, plastic, and aluminum products. Easing up on the use of air conditioning and heating just a little bit saves money and fuel. And you can save a lot of water just by turning off the faucet while you brush your teeth. This soil? I'm building a Norse burial mound for my action figures. Want to help?